Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I was gone for a minute. Now I'm back. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Sasha, and this is Fourth and Wine. So here we talk about wine. So I picked my favorite wine of the week, and we talk Eagles football because we can't forget about our birds. I've been gone for a little bit, but I'm back and I'm excited. I've missed so much to talk to y'all about. I've missed a ton. So let's get into it. This is Fourth and Wine. All right. Welcome. Welcome back. The season is starting. We are here. Preseason is happening very soon. The Eagles are going to be playing the Baltimore Ravens. And I got a lot to talk about. I just got to get caught up, and y'all got to hear my thoughts on a few things. So here we go. Let's start off with the wine. So my husband purchased purchased a Riesling for me. He knows I'm not a huge fan of sweet wines, but he got a German Riesling. So hopefully it's a little off dry, maybe a little bit on the drier side. We'll see. We'll try it out. This is literally my first time tasting this. So let's crack it open, see what it's going for. Now, Rieslings are white wines, obviously, if you did not know. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. I gotta get back into the flow of this. But Rieslings can range from dry to sweet. So it just depends. Usually very high in acidity. And they can be like light to medium body. Typically white wines aren't full body. That's usually for the red wines. But yeah. This one is from Germany. It's called The Seeker, and it's got this, it looks like a World War II balloon on here. But no, it just looks like maybe it's just a hot air balloon with somebody looking out with a little telescope or whatever. And it is from Moselle, from the Moselle River Valley. Those are where the grapes are sourced. So let's try this one out. Typically you can pair white wines, especially Rieslings, with like your seafood, salmon, crab cakes, shrimp. So let's try this out. A little charcuterie board too. Let's see what it's hitting for. It is like a wheat color. It's pretty yellow and pretty. Yeah. And it appears fairly light body. Smells like apricot. A little lemon zest. You always get like a citrusy. Is that a word? A citrusy taste, smell, when you're drinking white wines. Good to me. very, very analytical, very analytical view, right? Good. It tastes a little peachy. I don't taste like a ton of apple in this. It's very peachy. A little grapefruit. So like I said, if you don't like too sweet, I feel like this is a good balance. It's not very sweet. It's not like juice. But if you like a sweeter wine, this one might not be for you. It's a little drier, but I wouldn't say it's dry by any means. It's still pretty sweet. Like it still has like a nice sweetness to it. I would give it like a medium sweetness. Well, off. But yeah, The main reason he picked it, he said, was because it was in a green bottle, so we could welcome back the Eagles season with a green bottle. And hey, I like it. Honestly, it's also not. I mean, it is pretty acidic, which usually happens when grapes are in cooler climates. But chill this wine, drink it chill outside. It is very refreshing. Like, it is really refreshing, I will say. I like drinking it just like casually. You can drink it with nothing, drink it casually, drink it with, a charcuterie board. Try it with, chicken. If you want to pair it with like some shrimp and pasta, that'll probably be good. Like some cheeses, try maybe like a lighter cheese. A1. And now I'm hungry, but I don't have anything to eat right now. But enough of the wine for now. Let's get into all the things I've missed. Because, I'm sure everyone's been asking, where the hell have you been? Well, I was getting married, okay? I was getting married. So I got married back on June 11th, and it was a beautiful day. Our friends were there, family was there. It was just such a beautiful day. And it was a hot day. So thank you to all my family and friends who suffered in the heat with me. I definitely was sweating, but also shout out to the girl who did my makeup, Chloe, and Lala, because my hair and my makeup intact all day. Through all of the crying, all of the sweat, everything, I still look very much put together. So shout out to those ladies. Oh, looks like my light went out. How is that even possible? And I am. But yes, it was a beautiful day. Lots of love, lots of tears, y'all. I cried so much. I cried so much. But I had a beautiful day, and things don't always go as you plan them. However, when the day comes, you just so in the moment. You just trying to have a good time. At least I was. I just wanted to have a good time. I didn't want to be bothered with doing just the routine and the itinerary. But I did all those things, took photos because you want to make memories and just save them. So, I made sure I got my photos with my girls. And I feel like I missed a lot of photos with my family. So if y'all have any, please send them to me. But one thing about this whole wedding experience that I would 100% recommend to anybody is hire a wedding planner. Starting this off, we said our budget was going to be one thing, and we probably doubled what that was. But when we started off, we pretty much were like, we could do this ourselves. It'll help us save money and stay within our budget, which didn't happen anyway. So if I could go back and do it all again, which I probably wouldn't because I enjoyed the day so much. But if I could go back and do it all again, I would definitely hire a wedding planner. Yes, we had a wedding coordinator and she was fantastic. The amount of stress she took off of me that day, her and her assistant, I did not have to worry okay, where's this happening? Who's got this? Does the cameraman have what he needs? Does this person have what they need? Do they know where to go? I didn't have to worry about any of that on the day of because I had an outside wedding coordinator along with the venues coordinator. But when it came to planning, I probably would have hired a planner just so they could recommend things they just know what the venue's rules are. So venues, when you plan a wedding, you pay for everything. But being naive and starting off, I didn't think about those things. I'm why can't I bring my own DIY things to the venue? I'm already paying you. No, if you want to bring your own stuff, you have to pay an extra fee plus a fee to put the stuff down and put it out. And it was a lot. And it was things that maybe other venues would have allowed or whatever the case may have been. it would have helped like bring it all together. I think I did a really good job, honestly. Shout out to me. But I think I did a really good job with trying to bring it all together and like create this vision. But I will say also my vision changed over the course of the year and 4 months I was planning. So the venue, the vendors, like it was just a lot to make sure it all was cohesive. So I worked really hard to make sure like even vendors and the venue knew what my aesthetic was and was executing towards that. From my dress to the dresses I thought about getting, all of it was like an aesthetic and needed to be cohesive, at least in my mind. And if I had a wedding planner, they would have helped me realize that my aesthetic was one thing when I started, or I thought it was one thing when I started, and it actually was something completely different. But see, I found that out throughout the process. But it worked out. It worked out. But I will recommend for 2027 brides and 2027 grooms, let your fiance, your future wife, hire a wedding planner. She needs that. Thank you. But so throughout all of that, so much other stuff has been happening with the Eagles, with the city. Like Philly has been lit all summer. Like if you have not been outside this summer, you were losing out. And so many things happened, from my wedding to FIFA to MLB All-Star. All those things happened in the city. LeBron James is now a Sixer. So many things have been happening in the city, have been so exciting over the last year. Like, if you missed out, there were so many events. I got to enjoy FIFA a little bit in New York. We watched the game out there. I watched a few of the FIFA games and got to be in a mix downtown. And I wish I had planned better, and I wish I cared more about football before FIFA got here. And I got my tickets well in advance, but I missed that opportunity. But you know, doesn't mean I can't travel the world for the next FIFA event. I would love to go. It was exciting. I got to watch the championship FIFA game with my girl Ariel, who came up, visited, and we went out and kind of hung out in the mix, watched Argentina, and who else played? Argentina lost, and then they played Spain. It was Spain. Yamin Yamal. Yes. But it was such a good vibe. But enough about all of that. I've been missing so much. So much has happened. So I promise I'm not going to hold you too much longer. So I'm going to probably start dropping episodes like once a week. We'll see how that goes. And I'll drop them on Saturdays. And then y'all know I do my Sasha's Quick Slants on Sunday before the games. So I'll probably continue to keep that cadence and then post here and there whenever big news drops. So be on the lookout. But in, I guess, the most recent news as far as signings go, Jalen Carter got his 4-year extension for $152 million. Okay? That is a lot of money. But I will say this. I do think he is very deserving of it. I think you needed to give him something to keep him here. There is no way our defense, honestly, our offense, like, our defense has been solid and has been good over the last few years. But Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis has stepped up. Those are key players that you got to keep happy and you got to keep him here. So shout out to Jalen Carter and his extension this year. 152 mil, which means that there is some money tied up with these Eagles. So and surprisingly, Howie has done such a fantastic job at managing this. So shout out to Howie and his team. They have done a great job, I feel like, at managing player contracts and all of that good stuff. Now, granted, we've got a lot of money tied up in offense. Our defense has a lot of young players right now. So a few of them, they're not tying up too much money yet. but they soon will be. And Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis have been the first of many defensive players that are young, but soon will be looking for that check. Okay. However, so his cap hit this year is $11.7 million, which in the ranking of things, he is fourth on the team as far as cap hit goes. Jalen Hurts obviously being number one, Lane Johnson, and then Jordan Mailata. Those are the top three players with the most amount of cap hit this season. But also this season, the salary cap has gone up. So we're at $300 million is the league salary cap. I think it's like 301 and some change or whatever. Active roster salary cap right now is $259 million. Then we got like a dead cap hit of about $73 million, which includes AJ Brown, James Bradbury, some other folks. But we still have $21 million remaining in cap space for 2026. So Howie and his team, they are paying their players, giving them decent salaries, decent contracts, but still keeping room. Like, that's a business mind. That's a business mind. And I want to learn that. That is going to be my goal this season, to learn more of the business when it comes to the NFL, how contracts work. I just have recently been very engaged in that. So I'm going to learn a little bit more this season about cap hits. But shout out to Jalen Carter for signing that 4-year. Now I missed a lot. I missed the draft. It's just so much. So I'm going to try to share everything that I've been thinking about over the last few months, things that I wanted to post, but to be fair, just didn't have the energy nor the time to do so. But Makai Lemon, it all started off back in April, and it feels like it happened, honestly, years ago. But when we signed Makai Lemon during the draft, I said, oh, for sure, those reports about AJ Brown being traded are true. He is leaving. The hope and what I've been noticing in the offseason, all of the signings of the wide receivers, it was like, yeah, AJ Brown will be traded. He's going to leave. I don't want to talk about AJ Brown too much and like what I think about that. Like, who cares at this point? He's happy. God bless him and God bless the Eagles. But our NFL draft, we drafted Makai Lemon in the first round from USC. Mind you, the Steelers were calling him to say they were going to pick him next on the board, but like, y'all weren't on the clock. So that is messy. That's real messy. They should probably get in trouble for that. Like, that's messy. Because we traded on up. We traded with the Cowboys and, you know, got the 20th pick. So we ruined whatever plans they had. We ruined that for them. But a few other players that we also drafted in this year's draft: Eli Stowers, tight end from Vanderbilt; Markel Bell, offensive tackle from Miami; Cole Payton, quarterback from North Dakota State; Makai Morris. Lots of Makais. Makai Morris from Georgia. We know we love our Georgia Bulldogs. And then in round 7, we drafted a few players. Cole Wazanowski. Who knows? Keyshawn James Newby, offensive linebacker. Outside linebacker, sorry. And Cole Wazanowski, who's a safety. And then another, like, you know, they do the international players is Uar Bernard, defensive tackle. I think Eli Stowers, initially, I was like, oh, that's a solid pickup considering all of the noise around Dallas Goedert and potentially moving on from Dallas Goedert. I thought that was a solid, like, thought ahead for Howie and his team. And thinking about how things panned out with Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert over the last few years, where Zach Ertz was here for about 9 seasons. He won a Super Bowl, and he knew it was coming, and he knew that it was going to be his last year in 2021, and so it was. Oh, excuse me. And he knew it was going to be his last year. And then Dallas Goedert being drafted in 2018. He's also coming up on 9 seasons. So maybe Howie is looking at it like 9 to 10 seasons is where that's the sweet spot for a tight end for him. Who knows what his thought process is behind that? But Dallas Goedert is in football. It sounds crazy to say, but he's getting older. These guys are all younger than me, but older in football and in sports. Like if you ain't under 30, you an OG. Okay. But both of them were second round picks. They have similar builds. They both can block. They both can run. And that's what they want out of their tight end. That is what fits the Eagles scheme. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out with Eli Stowers. I know just from some of the reports in training camp, he hasn't been, on fire, and it doesn't seem like he's going to be 1 or 2 at this point. Obviously, Dallas Goedert still here, still our one. But I guess as of now, the hope for him to kind of step in and fill that void in that role, if Dallas Goedert should move on, is yet to be determined. And he could potentially get there. Not everyone is a star right out the gate. But that pretty much is like how I'm feeling about the draft right now. Or Bernard, believe the player that hasn't ever played before. Very big, good in size. The Eagles also probably pride themselves a little bit on that too, being able to train, coach, teach. With Jordan Mailata being someone who's never played football, American football, before, playing rugby, similar, but not the same. Not the same. But so I'm interested to see what this team actually shapes out to be and what it's going to look like this season. Lots and lots of changes have been made. But thinking about Makai Lemon and how kind of will Makai Lemon be the replacement for A.J. Brown? Now, the Eagles traded up with the Cowboys for the 20th pick. Pittsburgh had the 21st, so they calling him up to tell him they're going to pick him next. But unfortunately, the Eagles were calling, and he is now in Philadelphia. So, of course, that's what everyone was talking about online. Picking a wide receiver 1 initially probably wasn't on my bingo card for what the Eagles needed, but they knew they were going to be moving on from A.J. Brown. They had just extended A.J. Brown and Devontae, 2 years ago? So it just didn't seem like something that was going to happen until I noticed they were signing a bunch of wide receivers. We had just signed Hollywood Brown. Like, things started to look like, okay, AJ is going to be going. Dontavian Wicks. We signed him during the draft. Darius Cooper. We still have Darius Cooper. Johnny Wilson supposedly and hopefully will be coming back. He had his injury. So, it seems like we were going to move on from AJ, but also we are looking in the direction of becoming more of a passing offense. A passing offense. So I'm interested to see what Sean Mannion is cooking up in that playbook this season. But AJ Brown leaving and going to the Patriots, like I said, I don't want to really get too much into AJ Brown drama and saga. He was beefing with Jalen and Josh Sweat over masseuse or something. Like, I don't know. The men, they always got some tea going on. So, ladies, if you don't want to watch football for nothing else, watch it for the tea. The men always got the tea, okay? So AJ is married now. So whatever that was, I'm sure, or I'm hoping, is no longer. But him, Josh Sweat having beef. Josh Sweat not on the team right now. But it's just not. Oh, I keep saying Josh Sweat, y'all. Why am I saying Josh Sweat? What's it? Hassan Reddick. Oh my God. I'm picturing Hassan Reddick in my head and saying Josh Sweat over and over and over. My bad, y'all. Hassan Reddick. My temple brethren. Okay. But the article is talking about whatever is going on, cheating and Jalen. I don't even get how Jalen got wrapped up into it or what that would have to do with anything, but somebody did something to their wife and their girl and then cheating on them and they sleeping with the same lady and dating the same woman, blah, 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 blah. And they all married now. So like, who cares? AJ Brown's married. I'm assuming his wife is happy, and let's move along. I ain't even gonna talk about what the articles have been reporting about AJ Brown and Drake May at training camp because it's useless. Day 3 of training camp, they are counting how many passes have made it to AJ Brown, and how many completions there have been. Like, day 3 training camp, this is what y'all reporting on? Like, come on. But I think without AJ Brown, now let's talk football. Now, without AJ Brown, I definitely think that there will be a transition for the team. I think Devontae Smith is a wide receiver 1 anywhere you go. And that is no question. Also, AJ Brown. However, I think this will be something new for our team to not have AJ Brown. We've gone through a few changes this offseason. So thinking about Jalen Hurts' record without AJ Brown and with AJ Brown. So without AJ Brown, Hurts has a record of 14, 19, and 1. So 14 losses. 14 wins, 19 losses, and a tie. Now, with AJ Brown, we are 46 and 13. So we have a winning record with AJ Brown. We have a 4.26 winning percentage with AJ Brown, and without him, without him, we have a 4.26 winning percentage, and with him, we have a 0.78 winning percentage. So that is a pretty hefty difference. But there are a lot of other things that have gone into play for that. So I don't think it's like, just if you look at just those numbers, it doesn't take into account so many other variables with this offense. AJ Brown's involvement in those games, the coordinators in those games. Did we have coordinators for those games? I think it will be a shift and a struggle without AJ Brown, but not solely because we do not have AJ Brown. There's so many other things that have happened with this team in this offseason. We've got new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion. He replaced Kevin Patullo. They're installing a brand new offensive system. This is a whole new playbook that a team has to learn all over again. That is a challenge. That is an obstacle. Our offensive line coach, Stout is gone. I don't know what happened there, but Stout is no longer our offensive line coach. I believe he is still in the locker room, but that is a change and a shift. Chris Cupper, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Chris is taking over coaching the line now after Jeff Stoutland has been coaching those guys for years, literally calling it Stoutland University. Bringing in Jordan Mailata, training him, Lane, like this is going to be a hurt piece. And I feel as though the run game is going to switch up a little bit. I just don't know what we are going to see, especially because I think the Eagles, we are a run offense. Like, that is what we are good at. That is what we are known for. And I know we have the great players to execute and do. But the coach being different, that's an obstacle. And I think that's something we are definitely going to struggle with in the first few weeks of the season. Who makes the team? Obviously, quarterback Jalen Hurts. We've got Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, Andy Dalton, Cole Payton. Let me see something here. Cole Payton being the young bull that they signed in the draft. So that they picked up in the draft. But yeah. TBD on who's going to be 2 and 3. Just reading some of the reports around training camp. It looks like Tanner McKee, Andy Dalton are still battling it out for number 2, but I think, in my opinion, it's definitely Tanner's job to lose. Number 2 is Tanner's job to lose. Like, I feel like the city loves him. I feel like he has like a good presence and he's played well when he's had to fill in for Jalen Hurts. So it's his job to lose. And Andy Dalton being a vet, like, I mean, he knows how these things go. So we'll see. And honestly, them signing a quarterback in a draft, I don't know. I didn't think too much of it just because it was in the later rounds. However, I do feel like Howie is always thinking, hey, if we don't get something out of Jalen Hurts this season, we need backup plans. And while I don't know if Cole Payton is the answer, I do think that is Howie thinking about the future and preparing and having options. And honestly, I respect it from the sense that Howie is a businessman at the end of the day. He is very smart. I think there were years where we probably did not want Howie to come back just because he made some mistakes, and we know Eagles fans can be very passionate. But you've got to respect the business mind in him. And you've got to respect how he moves. I honestly think I admire it a bit. Which is why I'm so fascinated and interested in learning about the business side of football this season. I think I'm going to make that like my number one goal this season. But Jalen Hurts at camp, he's looked pretty good. I know this past week there was some social media reports from the team. The team page posted a interception and Quinyon picked off Jalen Hurts. And people were like, you post that about your QB1, yada, yada, yada. And I guess you can look at it from that perspective. But also I'm looking at it like, let's be real. Like you want to showcase how good Q is. So why not? Like he is one of your most popular players. The city loves him. And he is a top corner in the league. You want to show what he going to do to all the other quarterbacks in the league. Like, if he picking off Jalen, who we value and who we think is, top tier, what he going to do to your quarterback? What he going to do to Baker? What he going to do to Matt? I'm just saying. What you gonna do to Matt? Okay, but that's neither here nor there. I think that this season, like all the other seasons, Jalen Hurts is coming in with another offensive coordinator, more dynamic offensive play. They're seeing more variety of plays. I was listening to 94.1 and reading a few articles. I wish somebody would let me come to training camp. I would love to just watch just for a week, maybe a day, honestly, maybe a chance. But anyway, just reading some of the reports, there's just a lot more variety. So, they're throwing the ball up the middle, they're running the ball as well, but they're also throwing it and they're allowing Jalen to get comfortable. And I have been reading that Jalen is more bought into the system. I don't know what that means from the sense that, like, how do you know he's more bought into the system? Every year he is bought in. Like, no player is going to tell you he's not bought in and he hates his coordinator. But, you know, Jalen seems, that's all you can do is speculate. Jalen seems to be more bought in, and I'm excited. I think Jalen is used to this. It's not about buy-in or not. Like, Jalen is just used to the churn and burn. He plays well. His coordinators get promoted, or, you know, things that over the last couple of years, like your offensive coordinators, got to go. Like Kevin Batula. But then you win a Super Bowl and your offensive coordinator gets promoted. Like, it's like a lose-lose for him. However, he has always been able to adjust, and I think Jalen Hurts plays his best football when the world doubts him and he is under pressure. Take a little sip. But, you know, the playbook right now is vast. It's probably like 100 plays that they're running through right now, and then that's going to shrink come season time. And then they'll have their installation of the few plays that they are going to work and use throughout the season. So I'm interested in seeing what that final playbook looks like and how it comes to fruition for this team. But there is a big TBD sign on this Eagles offense this season, in my opinion. Way too many changes. A.J. Brown, new offensive coordinator with Sean Mannion, new line coordinator since Jeff Stout left. It's just a lot. And also Stout was the run game coordinator, which is why I'm like, who knows what this run game is going to look like. I just think there's a lot to still be left to desire. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get out of this team sometimes. Now, who else makes the 53-man roster when it comes to the wide receiver room? So this is the room right now. Like, this is the hot topic of every news headline since A.J. Brown has now left the Eagles. But we got Hollywood Brown. We got Darius Cooper, Britton Covey, Eric, I ain't even going to try to pronounce his last name, Danny Gray, Makai Lemon, Elijah Moore, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Dontavian Wicks, Johnny Wilson. Like, it's just a lot of people in the room. Samori Toure. I don't even know how. See, there's a few guys on here. You know, they probably just don't make it first squad, if we're being honest. But the room has a lot of competition. So Devontae Smith, obviously, he's our wide receiver one. Who is going to come in and be another core in this wide receiver group? Now, on Monday, Devontae did leave practice with an injury. He was not working out, but as of Thursday, he is now working out. He is not practicing with the team. So I'm not really worried about Devontae Smith and this injury right now, just because he's a vet. He's been through it. I think, you know, get him back in a movement. It is just preseason with the preseason game later on today. But more to come to see what the longevity looks like this season. But I'm confident he's always been a bounce back kind of guy. Like, he is a small guy. He's put on some weight this season, but he's still a smaller guy compared to the rest. But he's always endured. That's the word I was looking for. He's always endured. Now, who else could potentially make this team? It is looking very, very promising this season for Darius Cooper. Now, Makai Lemon coming in and kind of being the, you know, the 1 and the 2 with Devontae, that seemed great back in April, back before training camp. But Darius Cooper, they like him. They like him. Jalen Hurts likes him. Jalen Hurts has made a lot of throws to Darius Cooper during training camp. They both seem comfortable. They are in a rhythm together. They really seem to be getting, like, in lockstep with one another, Jalen Hurts and Darius Cooper. So I'm interested to see how this is going to play out because Makai Lemon, coming off his hamstring injury, having a hamstring injury in the beginning of the summer, he probably won't play today. He's probably not going to play in the preseason game today against the Ravens. If he does, I will be shocked, to say the least. However, coming off a hamstring injury, and even prior to the hamstring injury, I'm not sure I saw too many reports about his play and how things have been going for him. And he hasn't been getting the opportunity, and because he's been injured. So everyone else has been able to showcase, step up, and Darius Cooper is shining. He is shining through this. Also, Elijah Moore, it seemed like him and Hurts also in lockstep. They seem to have a really good relationship. I've seen Hollywood Brown and Jalen Hurts like practicing together in the off season outside of training camp. And it looks like he's building a real relationship with these wide receivers, and Darius Cooper and Elijah Moore seem to be the guys he's doing it with. So I'm interested to see. We might not even need, since Darius Cooper has stepped up so much, it's like, while Makai Lemon was kind of the expectation to come in and since Devontae would be taking on wide receiver one, Makai coming in and kind of being that number 2 guy, but we might not even need him to step up in that way just yet. So he may get time to ease into it, similar to how Eli Stowers may get time to ease into it. But speaking of Eli Stowers, tight ends, he's not where they want them to be, just based on things I've been seeing. They're, as far as him being a contender to replace Dallas Goedert, is still TBD. Yet to be determined. But our offense, a lot of money tied up in them, and a lot of expectations for them. We still got Vic on the other side as our defensive coordinator. So I feel more confident in that room because it's also still a decent amount of the same guys. Granted, we did lose a few. Obviously. I'm not even going to mention it because y'all going to crucify me if I mention this guy's name, I'm sure. But we lost a few guys on the defensive side, but I'm sure a few y'all ain't worried about. Thinking about honestly, Azeez Ojulari, like maybe y'all miss him, but also Adoree Jackson, I'm sure. No one is necessarily checking for him, but he had glimpses, I think. And I think he had moments where he really performed well. Y'all just a tough crowd sometimes. Y'all a tough crowd. But either way, as far as the 53-man roster, yet to be determined. But my bets, my takes, especially in that wide receiver room, definitely Devontae, obviously. Obviously, Makai is going to make the 53-man roster, but I think Darius Cooper and Elijah Moore will be, our 2 and 3. Britton Covey, while wide receiver, I really think that he's going to be like our punt return specialist and make the team in a special teams space. Johnny Wilson, sir, like, it's a lot of competition. It's a lot of competition. And I don't know about him. But we'll see. But I'm going to wrap this up because I feel like I just kept y'all too long, but I had so much to talk about. It's been months. And I promise I won't go this long ever again. But, I got married. So I was busy. But anyway, training camp is going. The preseason game is later on tonight. What are we, like less than 2 weeks away? Honestly, less than 2 weeks away from open practice, which I will be in attendance. We got the preseason Ravens game We played this preseason against the Patriots, so we're gonna be practicing with the Patriots. I guess they tried to make it as interesting as possible since we are not playing the Patriots in season. So they wanted to give us a little something. But A.J. Brown, the Patriots played preseason last night, and A.J. Brown, like him playing in the preseason game is probably not going to happen, but it just makes for whatever storyline the media and the NFL want to create, just drama. This season, however, our AFC schedule this season, it looks like we're playing most of the AFC South teams. Honestly, I think we're playing all of the AFC South teams, if I'm being correct. Yes, we are. And NFC, obviously, we always play our division, but NFC West is what else is new? Yeah, but we play the Rams, we play the Cardinals, we play the. How did I lose that? Here we go. We play the Rams, we play the Cardinals, we play the Niners. So it's always fun to play the NFC West teams. I'm excited for the season. We doing our tailgate this season, so that'll be fun. But yeah, expect more from me this season and over the summer. I am sorry that I disappeared on you guys, but I'm gonna keep consistent. Don't forget, try yourself a German Riesling. Pick this up. I don't even know where he got this from. My husband got this. I have no idea where he got this from, but the Seeker. It's pretty good, a good casual wine. But I'm getting ready to head out, meet up with some friends. So until next time, peace, y'all.